elements that Kapila Dev is explaining are are matter. We perceive it as matter, which we know is not the real substance. For one, okay, it is not, this material world is not the real world. It's not the world where we are supposed to be. It is real in one sense. But just like a Durga, just like a jail is real. It is real, but it's not where one should live, where one is supposed to be. These material elements, they are, in that sense, they are not real. We are supposed to be in the spiritual world, in the association of Krishna, performing our service, whatever it may be, whatever our position, whatever our service is in the spiritual world. But now we're here in this material elements, separated energies. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's the verse Stavara Jangamadeki Nadeki Taramurya Savatra Hoya Nicha Ishta Deva Spurti. It is said a pure devotee also perceives all moving and non-moving elements. But he doesn't perceive them as separated energies, but he immediately sees them as parts of Krishna. Prabhupada gave the example explaining this verse. If a child leaves its shoes outside, for example, somewhere, leaving the shoes outside, then the person who is cleaning the floor may think it's a nuisance. But the parents of the child who left the shoes, when they see the shoes, immediately they remember the child. Oh, my dear child, there are the shoes. Where is it now actually looking? Similarly, a pure devotee, when he sees the material world, he does not think, oh, I'm caught in this material trap, but the material elements immediately remember him of Krishna. And Prabhupada says, so water, when you taste the water, it reminds you of Krishna. You should think of Krishna. Oh, how nice this taste is. Prabhupada said also other substances also. If somebody is addicted to wine, or wino, when he's drinking this wine, and if he would think of, oh, this wine is given by Krishna, I'm still attached to it, but it is given by Krishna. And this taste, Prabhupada says, this taste also is non-different from Krishna. All tastes come from Krishna. Also, all kinds of sounds come from Krishna. Krishna says, I am the sound in ether. All kinds of sound, whatever it is. That doesn't mean that we start listening to all kinds of music again. Well, it's non-different from Krishna. All sound is Krishna. The arrangement of the different sounds has its certain impact on the consciousness, and we are creating sound and listening to sound that is advantageous to our consciousness. We're trying to speak about Krishna and listening and hearing Krishna, chanting our rounds nicely. Water is the most, life depends on water. Water is the most important ingredient. it is said that the result of Sankirtan is rain. Successful performance of Sankirtan is if it rains sufficiently in some area. Srila Prabhupada came to, I don't remember which country in India, he came to a certain area where it hadn't rained for a long time. And he asked the devotees to make kirtan, and also the inhabitants of this country who had sufficient faith, they also took part. And they made kirtan for some time. And afterwards, after some time, it started raining. India, anyway, there's only the rainy season, but during the year there's a lack of rain. When I was in India the last time, at Kartik in Vrindavan, the devotees made a Ratha Yatra, pulling the Ratha, the cart. And today is also Ratha Yatra in Puri, the big day. When we did it in Vrindavan, the devotees pulled the cart from, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg, this street leading towards, I don't remember, towards Delhi, goes direction of Delhi. All the buses leave from there. The devotees came from there, passing by the temple, walking inside Vrindavan, and before entering Loy Bazaar, they went to the right, making kirtan all the time. The devotees are, and many people, many Brajbasis, inhabitants of Vrindavan, they came, wanted to pull the ropes of Jagannath Subhadra Baladev's cart, and it was ecstatic in front. Kirtan group going on the whole time, making kirtan all the time, dancing, singing. And when the kirtan went back towards the temple, unusually, suddenly it started raining. It didn't rain at that time of the year. It was very uncharacteristic. But the people who were standing on the side of the road, sheltering themselves from the rain, they knew that this rain is created by this kirtan. They were sure, they could perceive that this rain was created by this kirtan. If there's no rain, then it is considered an impious impious country. It is said the murderer of a Brahmana, he takes birth in the desert. Like Bashab, here don't say. Devotees always think he grew up in a small oasis. In a small oasis, some trees growing around a well. No, he grew up in the city. But some people, they are living in a desert, riding on camels through this hot area where it's completely dry, going from small oasis to oasis, and difficult life, tough life, and moving in the sun the whole time. Not much fresh things to consume. It's tough. That's where a murderer of Brahmanas, of a Brahmana takes birth in a place where there is no water. In the spiritual world, it is said there also the water is conscious of Krishna. Also the water is conscious of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said, in the spiritual world, every word is a song, every step is a dance. The water tastes like nectar. Also the water is conscious of Krishna. Every body and everything in the spiritual world is conscious of Krishna. Is conscious of Krishna. The grass is waiting. Oh, hopefully Krishna will step on me. Also the water. Oh, hopefully Krishna enters my water again. Hopefully Krishna comes here again. Bathes and drinks maybe even. Something I wanted to mention, but I forgot it. Old age. Even Srila Prabhupada once said, "Oh, I forgot. Now I'm getting old." It's not fascinating, it's impractical. In old age, the memory reduces to hardly remembering the name, maybe. So, no, I don't get it together. And the Prabhupada explains how important water is. The fruits are mostly made of water. Our eatables. We cannot eat flour by itself. You grind the grains and then there's the flour. I never tried it, but it's very hard to eat the flour. But if you put water in it, you get a nice dough. You can make all kinds of things with it. Making dough. It is said all living beings anat bhavanti bhutana. All living beings subsist on grains in the Bhagavad Gita. Grains mixed with water is the basis for many beings. Although Srila Prabhupada sometimes told certain devotees that they could just eat like that they could, eat like Ekadasi food, that for them it's not necessary to take grains, but normally you need it. So the water and grains is necessary to give strength to the body, to maintain the body, to build up the body in its growth. And water and earth is used to make bricks with which you can build all different kinds of houses. These bricks here, this temple room, is made of bricks or concrete blocks mostly. Concrete is mixed with water. The whole building consists on materials mixed with water. Reminds me of a devotee who preached to me at the first time I came into a temple was Chakravarti Prabhu, the husband of Dina Sharna Mataji, GDC for Germany. I came there and he started preaching to me, and he said, you know, all these things that we see, not all of these, they don't belong to us. When we see the wood, the trees grow by Krishna's mercy. The nature gives the trees, the nature gives these rocks, the marble. Nature gives the sand for the glass. For the cotton grows, cotton delivers the cloth, curtain. All these things, they don't belong to us. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Krishna. And he went on, and this body also doesn't belong to us. But we, as spirit soul, we are part of Krishna. Just like a small grain of gold, small particle of gold, is always, it comes from a gold mine. Krishna is like the gold mine, the huge reservoir of gold. And we are small particles, like dust of gold. We are small particles of Krishna, spiritual particles, residing in this body, mostly made of water. Kapila Dev goes on counting the different elements of material nature, and all this knowledge finally leads to the understanding that he analyzes material nature, and by this we can perceive that this material nature consists of these different elements, and we as spiritual beings, we as living beings, we are completely different from all these things. This water, this body mainly consists of water. We are not the water. We are not the earth. We are not all the other elements that nature gives, supplies to build up the body. We are not all of this. Like this, Kapila Dev explains these elements. We are none of these elements, completely different, living in completely different, not material, but spiritual. So Srila Prabhupada said to give a class means to read something and to speak on what you have read. So I tried. Sorry. Is there any question? Yeah, Prabhu.
Wenn ein Kind seine Schuhe irgendwo liegen hat, derjenige, der da wischen muss, den wird das vielleicht nerven. Und die Eltern, die sind da emotional involviert und die freuen sich einfach, sich an ihr Kind zu erinnern. So. Und ich verfolge so ein Phänomen hier im Tempelraum mit, dass Kinder manchmal reinkommen und Karatels in die Hand bekommen und die machen dann ganz schön Lärm damit und lassen die auch immer wieder auf den Boden fallen. So, und das stört den Kirtan. So, das war meine Erfahrung vor ein paar Tagen besonders. Und ich meine, ich bin nicht ein großer Lehrer wie Srila Prabhupada. Ich habe gehört, Srila Prabhupada hat sehr schnell Kirtan unterbrochen, wenn Störfaktoren da waren. Und die Eltern, ist mein Eindruck, sind sehr nachsichtig und wollen das Kind wohl einfach in dieser spirituellen Atmosphäre sein lassen oder warum auch immer sie die hier sein lassen wollen. So, ich frage mich, wie ich mich da selber, also was ich denken soll und auch, ob es da ein Recht oder eine Pflicht gibt, irgendwas zu kommunizieren, weil ich sehe nicht den Nutzen davon, dass das Kind da im Tempelraum einfach nur Lärm macht und uns davon abhält, dass wir unser Yoga Dharma durchführen. So, was sind deine Erkenntnisse darüber?
So, Sanjay Prabhu asked a loaded question. Picking up on the point that children sometimes they leave their shoes somewhere, that reminds the parents. The parents think of, oh, my dear child left his shoes. Others think, oh no, the child left. Some shoes are lying around. And sometimes in the temple room, children, they also want to play cartels. And then they get a pair of cartels and they start to make some sound which is not rhythmic, doesn't fit to the kirtan, and they drop the cartels to the ground and make all kinds of noise. And the parents let them go on, but what should the other devotees, what should they think? Practice makes perfect. When children are trying to play cards, it is not necessary. You mentioned Prabhupada, he was very expert. It is said when the child is having something in its hand, Prabhupada said if a child has a banknote in its hand and wants to eat it or something, then, and if you want to take it away, the child starts crying, screaming, doesn't want to give it. Then you take something else and show it to the child. Oh, look at this. How nice this is. A piece of wood. Or here, your toy. And immediately the child, when you present it in a nice way, in an attractive way, oh, here, look, a piece of carton board, a piece of carton. How nice it is. And the child, oh yeah, wants to have it, drops the other thing. So one should be able to give something else to the child, offer something that it will like. Sometimes children have their own mind. Well, you could see it as a, what's it called, as one of these machines that they have in the fitness studio. You also, your practice, or do I know, they have these weight things, lifting weights and sitting on these machines. I thought sometimes it would be practical if they would produce electricity. They put so much energy into these things. Would be good if they would produce something, if they make something useful, produce electricity with these. They use these different tools for increasing the health. Although I think most like they will reduce their lifespan by breathing heavily. So if there are some persons causing trouble to you, you can think, well, it's just like one of these machines in the fitness studio. It's meant, this person is meant to help me practicing tolerance, so that that one day I may become more tolerant than a tree. A kappa person is, well, somebody who has this kind of body. Well, okay, the children are playing. But a person, a vata person maybe, is more sensitive. Is more sensitive and perceives it as a nuisance. If you can't change it, you have to tolerate it. The parents, they are in charge. They should know how to handle the situation. Give something else to the child and take away the thing. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes, but how was it? Toshani Maharaji was supposed to give class. And before she came in with Gita Priya, and she went to Srila Prabhupada, and she offered some flowers to Srila Prabhupada and made her obeisance. And this time, Gita Priya, she was sitting here. She jumped on this Bhagavatam asana, and she started to speak into the microphone, giving a class. She comes and wants to, and also playing on the harmonium when somebody's playing. And she comes and also helps pressing the thingies on the keys on the harmonium. It is funny sometimes. So, practicing tolerance. Prabhupada said in the river, there are lots of rocks, and they, by the movement of water, they rub on each other, scratching each other. And in due course of time, over a long time, these rocks, these pieces of rock, by moving, by scratching each other, by the what you call it, friction. By the friction they cause on each other, slowly they become round and soft. Prabhupada said also devotees, when there's friction amongst them, we can only tolerate. We can only practice humility, practice tolerance mainly. And we can only hope that the parents know what they should do. One can try and give something else. Sometimes also others, they're very enthusiastic, grown-ups, they're very enthusiastic, playing cards, although they don't have talent. And it's almost in rhyme, almost, but it's a little offbeat. And for me it's also difficult sometimes. Oh God, give me a hand grenade or something. What can you do? Tolerating. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's a good idea, Bashar Prabhu. Who comes from? Just give another instrument, some nice instrument to the child. Boy, look, what I have found, Rasse. Look, boy, this is so nice, and it's bigger than these small shabby cartels. Here, you can have this if you like, and the child may take it. And you take the cartels and hang them back on the hook.
Ja, darf ich jetzt?
Ja.
Ja, wir hatten neulich das Problem und Toshani versteht das eigentlich ganz gut, die Kleine abzulenken und ja dann was anderes und dort zu jubeln. Und dann ist das wieder was Neues und dann hat sie das Alte vergessen. Kinder vergessen ganz schnell das Alte, wenn was Neues kommt. Und ja, danke. Und ja, die haben da eine bestimmte Gabe, dann sich von den Neuen fesseln zu lassen. Und wir hatten ja mal im Seminar von Devaki, also so ein Kinderseminar, und Devaki brachte da zum Ausdruck, dass Kinder ab 5 Jahren konsequent erzogen werden sollten und unter 5 Jahren sollte man eben den Kindern alles lassen und dann auf eine andere Art und Weise versuchen, die dahin zu kriegen, wo man sie gern haben möchte. Aber Kinder sollten da bis zu dem Alter ihren Freiraum haben. Ja. Auch wenn das im Tempel manchmal störend ist, ja. Aber ja, wir haben ja nun hier kein Kinderzimmer mehr, wo sie früher spielen konnten. Das ist ja alles so ein bisschen abgeändert. Und ja, die müssen dann halt mitgebracht werden, ja. Oder es ist jemand draußen mit den Kindern. Ja, ja, schon nicht so leicht.
Mataji mentioned this instruction. It comes from Chanakya Pandit. Fondle the child until he's 5 years old, from 5 to 15. One should be strict, teaching strictly, severe. And from 15 on, one should treat the son as a friend. Up to 5, fondle. That means, yes, everything the child likes, one shouldn't allow them to do. If the parents cannot take part in the kirtan, it is better. One can see like this. It's better that the parents can take part in the kirtan also if the children make some noise. But parents should be expert and act like this. Give something else to the child, which is not so much. One idea I had also for class, it would be nice if there's a loudspeaker in one room. Outside here, it's also that it would also be loud. One Meenakshi Maharaji, she said it would be nice if there would be a speaker in the prasaram room. Parents with small children, they can sit there and listen to a class without the children creating a disturbance. That would be nice. Easy to do, easy to make, I guess. How there is this thingy.
Everybody can connect on Bluetooth and play lectures. There is even lectures on it. Two Prabhupada lectures on chanting.
Yeah, but if there is, let's say, if there's an important class here, if there's a class you would like to hear. Yes, from the temple room, of course. Yes. Yeah. Yes. You cannot receive the class from here on this thing. No, it's not a VLAN thing, VLAN receiver. That would be practical. To have some speaker there. So. Normally the children are very nice. Prabhupada writes here, is incessantly supplying itself to reservoirs of water. Water is always, Prabhupada says, as water is always flowing to the deepest point, similarly, the affection in a group is always flowing to the deepest point, to the smallest member of a congregation. Everybody likes the smallest member the most. Krishna made it in such a way that the small babies are most attractive They are so cute that everybody likes them and would protect them, would protect them. Also in groups of animals and herds of antelopes, buffaloes. All of them would protect a small member against any enemy. So everybody likes the small children. Normally. There are also other devotees who were very strict brahmacharis. Sanjay Prabhu was shaking his head. Yes. Fallen householders, women, going like this. But then, if they have a small child, they're melting so much, and they become very, very soft, very appreciative of a small child, a small baby. Krishna made it in such a way. So, another question? Good. Sorry, I have to go to a doctor. Thank you for your patience. Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.